TB Joshua issues strong warning to leaders over COVID-19. Prophet TB Joshua of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, SCOAN, has warned world leaders to take proactive steps in order to curb further spread of the COVID-19 issue. He warned that the leaders must also help people most affected by the impact of the COVID-19 disease. He said God's anger may be kindled if the leaders fail to help displaced people from troubled spots. The cleric also urged individuals and groups who are better placed to provide support for those worst hit by the COVID-19 outbreak. Prophet TB Joshua made the call on Sunday during question and answer section on live TV, where he touched on several issues. On a world that cares less, we should care more, he advised. If something big starts big, it calls for concern, he added. There is time for everything, a time to be born, a time to grow, a time to face persecution, and a time to reap the fruits of your labor. Any life that does not follow this process is bound to face obstacles that can either stop you or destroy you in the middle of the journey or late on the journey of life. Using his own life as an analogy, Prophet Joshua noted that if you do not know how to maintain the little of today, you may not know how to maintain the big of tomorrow. Joshua was recently in the news and dragged on social media platforms after his prophecy that the COVID-19 pandemic would end by 27th March 2020. After the declaration went unfulfilled, the popular prophet clarified that he was misunderstood in the declaration as the event had happened in the spiritual world and was only waiting for a physical manifestation. Thank you for listening to this news. Viewers, it will all go well if we keep to the advice of this prophet and laying uh, stop laying accusation on what has happened in the past. What happened in the past was only a prophecy which he gave, which he claimed that people didn't understood his prophecy, and he went on to give an explanation of what it meant. So let's forget whatever he must have said. Let's forget he's if he's defending himself or trying to defend his prophecy. That is his own cup of tea. If he's doing that, it depends. That depends to him and God. God alone knows if he's telling the truth or not. Let's just allow God to do the judgment. And besides, it's very bad. It's very, very bad to criticize a man of God. It's an offense. So we should not be doing that. It is not encouraging one bit. You know why? Reason being that you are not Christ. You don't you have not heard from Christ concerning the man of God. And Christ is not a wicked one or a wicked type that will allow you to see the heart of the other man, or we start revealing his revelation which he had with the other person or the other man of God to you. And that is why they say that man is not God. God is different from man. God's way of reasoning is different from man's way of reasoning. God's way of reasoning is merciful, but man's way of reasoning is evil, just as the heart of man and the heart of God. God is not a man that he will reveal to you what he revealed to the other person. God does not prognose. He does not prognose over people's matters. He does not criticize, neither does he feel jealous. God is not a man. So, my dear viewers, let us stop that habit of criticizing a man of God, because it won't help us and will not help us. Let's learn to do the right thing always at the right time. And that is the only thing that can help us. Christ came in order to put things in place and not to destroy. Christ came in order to help his children and not to criticize his children. Christ came in order to reconcile us together, in order to reconcile his children, the ones who are having grudge should be reconciled. The one who are fighting with each other should be reconciled. He came so that we will have all that we need in abundance. The coming of Christ is to reorganize and organize and put things that have been destroyed in place. And that is what man should know and understand. God no be man, and he no fit be man. Allow that to remain in your thick skull. A man of God is a messenger of God. Whether the message he delivers is a true one or not a true one, it is left to him and God. Let's not be arguing about it. Let's allow God to decide on that and not us. So, my viewers, all these are what we need to know and have at the back of our minds. Because a word they say, what doing is what doing well. Let's learn to put things together and not to destroy. As the man of God has just said, or has just given his prophecy, if I were you, the only thing I would do is keep my fingers crossed and watch the realization of the prophecy. If the prophecy is going to come to pass, then if you're a good person who is a good Christian or a good Muslim, who have love for mankind, then you will pray alongside the prophecy that has been revealed by the man of God. You pray for the realization of the prophecy. You pray for the prophecy to come to pass. These are the things you should do. So this is my little observations.